Good evening, everybody. This is Banner and Chance. Thanks very much for joining us here. We are starting 2 hours early tonight. We're trying something a little bit different. And thank you for 4 of our 5 players who are able to show up tonight. Brad won't be joining us tonight. We have interesting things planned for his character. Just kidding. But we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We've got a lot of things going on. We had an interesting session last week, but right now I'm going to go around the table and I'm going to ask each one of you to introduce yourselves for us. We're going to go Becca, Noel, Shady, and Luna. So Becca, start us off, please.
Hi, I'm Becca. I play Bee. She is a Shatterkai Twilight Cleric.
What's up, guys? I'm Noel. I play Wolfgang Greyrook, or Rook, and he is an Ink Bard Rogue.
Hello, I am Shady, and I play Runt. She is a very young human rogue.
Hi, I'm Luna, and I play Gin, and she is a Kensei monk all the way from Kozakura.
Fantastic. I'm Tim. I'll be your DM tonight, and I thought what we would do is we're going to do a little bit of a recap, but before we do, last game it was fairly special. We were playing a one-shot. 3 of the people here in the room tonight were playing with us, and I just would like you all to remind us who you were in the game and what was the last thing that happened, if you could. And we'll go in the same order, starting with you.
I played Buzz, who was a 13-year-old pre-rogue, and the last thing that happened was I was kidnapped by Gertie the Hag.
There you go. Shady.
I was playing Hoot, and she was a pre-ranger, and she discovered our original party
Right.
through a cave.
Awesome. So they joined up at the northeast corner of northeast corner of our island, as our original party is at this Moonbow altar. And Geen.
I played Tweet, who was a 15-year-old pre-barbarian, and he was able to reveal this amulet that came out of some wall thing, whatever, and now he's wearing it.
Yeah, so he has a ship's wheel shaped amulet that had popped out of this motif, or whatever we want to call it. This I don't know, cave wall.
I forgot
painting.
what we called it. Started with a P.
Something.
A P something. So
I was playing dead.
You were playing dead. You were away last week. So now they've met up with our existing party, and this is where we're going to pick up tonight's episode, and we're going to do that right now, as we talk about what happened last time on Banner and Chance. Our party has seen their way through the north of Faerun. They have traveled the waves of the Sea of Fallen Stars. They followed a evil merchant ship of Karathur's as it bore its cargo of 30 kidnapped children to this island of hags, this island of Bertha. They've spent a couple of days now on this island, having landed the one night, the one evening, and having spent the morning of the next day. Our party has made some interesting discoveries. One of which is that they were forced up this river, this font, this stream that had miraculous healing powers. And when they traveled up it by magical means in this stone canoe, they were taken to this island, this crescent-shaped island of the Fey moon goddess Moonbow. As they were up there, several strange things started to happen. Powers began to turn up, and our Twilight Cleric, who worships Selune, felt a connection both with the water, which was able to rescue Runt and bring it to the island, and with several other things around, including the bones of some fallen furbolgs. There are children on this island that are captured by the hags. There are also children, as we just heard, which have formed a small resistance band. And some of them were lost out of sight, taken to the beach by Griffaro and Bilquorum as they battled a bone golem. Others took the north road and battled giant spiders as they went on this little mini adventure. But now it is midday, and our party is standing there together. Rogar, Rook, Runt, Bee, and Geen clustered around this island, two of the children with them. And it's here where we're going to pick up the story, as it's just after midday, and the sun is high in the sky, and we know that the Coven will be going about its dark and dirty work as the powers of the moon and the dark forces around the lunar event begin to unfold. Tonight is episode 26, Harvest Moon, and we will see how our party prevents the harvest of these children. Bees, you are standing on a white stone semicircular platform in the middle of this font. Behind you are two children. Geen and Runt are with you. And you are also there, Rook, standing next to Rogar and this pile of bones.
And I remember the bones were starting to move, right?
Bees, you definitely perceive this with your hands still in the font.
So at this point, if I remember correctly, I had taken my hands out because the children kind of scared me a little bit. And
Yes.
like, what are they doing here? What? How did they get here? What is going on right now?
So we have Hoot and Bark with us.
Tweet.
Pardon me, Hoot and Tweet are with us. And as confusing as it might be, for the moment I'm going to ask you to play both characters. So, Hoot and Tweet, you are standing there.
Oi, fearless leader. You go. Talk.
All right then. Okay, I can do that. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So we might be in a little bit of a pickle.
A little bit.
We might be in a big pickle.
Okay, what happened? How did you get up here?
Oh, that's not important. What is important though is that we seem to have lost one of our friends.
We lost
Two
Wish.
of our friends.
Oh, well, what
I mean,
happened?
was she really our friend? I mean, we did just meet her.
That's true.
So what happened? I'm gonna go over to the kids and just be like, start from the beginning. What happened?
Are we across the
Science.
water?
You're around. You are now sort of arrayed around this island. Some of you are on the shore. It's in many parts. It's simply a leap to clear the water. So you are all in this central little spring amongst high rocks, and this pile of bones, and one small opening where the kids just came from.
We ain't got time for the beginning. One of the hags, they just took our friend.
Okay, but how did you get up here? Because you guys were down at the cave when we left.
That's
We
true.
know all sorts of ways to get around. don't we? Back me up.
Yeah. What she said.
Yeah, like I said.
Okay, but what happened? Like, why are you here now? Because we left you down there.
Because we was running away from the hags. This one isn't paying attention.
No.
Hearing
And
the
I'm
word
gonna
hag,
look over at Runt and be like, "What happened?"
at this point, Rogar rounds the island and begins to sort of position himself in the gap, looking where you say that the child was abducted, and he seems to be on his guard and kind of forming a or dragonborn blockade.
Yeah, I'm just as confused as you are, love.
Yeah, you should talk to the blonde girl. I think she knows everything.
Runt, what happened when you guys? What's going on?
You guys was here with the big guy, right?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah. I don't remember his name, but we was being chased and we ran to a cave, and he told us, "Oh, get out of here!" And so we ran with the girl that she brought.
So you
I
will
will-
remember that her name was
Mercy.
Squish.
Mercy.
Squish.
Yeah,
But we call her
name's
Squish.
Squish.
Okay. And did she get abducted by the hags too?
Yeah. See, she's following.
Finally.
I'm gonna look at everybody else and be like, "Well, there's nothing we can do until tonight because we can't go in there."
Rook's just been having battle plans stack in his head, and so when new information arrived, he's like, just Windows EXE crash. Like, I don't know what's going on, so I'm just gonna let the others figure this out and then observe.
So where does this lead to?
Spiders.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of spiders.
Mm-hmm. But we killed them, right?
Well,
We
we
killed
killed
all
some
of
of them. Yeah, did we
Some,
kill
yeah.
all of them?
We killed some. I don't know. if we
They
killed
likes
all.
to hide.
That's true. Those webs too.
Yeah. Maybe the spiders will get the hag.
I don't think the spiders are gonna get the hag.
Well, that's
Is
just
this-
a negative attitude, if you ask me.
Does this lead down to the hags?
She's my sister.
It leads to an area where the hags came from.
Yeah.
We don't have to go back down to the cave to get to them. That's useful.
The minute your mind begins to ponder how you will get to the hags, the several skeletons, and you realize that there's 4 of them that are piled, these giant kind skeletons, all begin to kind of shift
Oh, Rogar and I will take a couple steps back then.
I'm gonna
and,
just-
and kind of untangle and right themselves. And first they're sitting, and then
You do
and
this.
then one gets to a knee and begins to right itself up, and another one gets to a knee and begins to right itself up, and one that's dressed more like a cleric rights itself up. Now we've got these 4 furbolgs skeletons standing in this gap, and they begin to sort of in a coordinated way shutter themselves open as if they're kind of a gate, and the 4 of them now are standing 2 against each wall, exposing now this boneyard in front of you. They're not standing in the boneyard, mind you. They're standing just shy of the edge of it. And now you can clearly see the Hag's Coven between you as these 4 large skeletons stand there, 3 of them bearing weapons.
Where exactly is that on the map there?
If you look right to the southwest of the corner of the Moonbow Island, you can see that that is a pile of skeletons.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, cool.
I
Pretty
didn't
cool.
do that.
That was pretty. That was pretty cool, right? That's
You said they're friendly. I ain't never met no friendly skeletons before.
That's true.
They're friendly. They should be friendly. At least I think.
I just kind of wave.
No reaction.
I'm gonna walk over to them and see what happens.
They stay standing. You can actually walk up to them. They're both, as I say, they're a few feet off of the boneyard, the blackened earth, standing on either side as if they're guarding statues.
Happens if I touch one.
Careful.
Nothing. Nothing.
Tweet is gonna kick it.
I'm gonna grab Tweet before Tweet hits.
No, Tweet's gonna just
I'm
nudge
gonna
it.
like pull
and
Tweet
kick it.
back.
Yeah. You give it a couple of solid shots, but it just sort of stands there. No, doesn't seem to react.
Not bad,
Alright.
not bad, not bad.
I don't know what's going on.
Is there some
So it
kind
looks
of-
like they're clearing a path for us, yes?
Yes.
Actually, that's pretty astute.
How old are
Yeah,
you?
you see, that's what I'm the brains of this operation. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, she's the brains, I'm the brawn.
I'm gonna look over at Rook and be like, I'm not doing this. I have no idea what's going on.
Is there any kind of Arcana check or something one of us can make about these skeletons or what their intention is, or like
Sure.
body language wise or
You
something?
you do know who I'm assuming these skeletons look like the thing from the room, the painting. Do
What-
you remember that painting?
What were
Yeah,
you
I remember the
looking?
painting. Oh, there's a
The-
painting, yeah.
Back that up. Back that up. Yeah, please.
The the boat with the thing, the things going like you
when
remember
she
that?
says, when she says boat, the
Can-
one we took to get up here.
No, I don't think they're talking about that one.
Now there's this fancy medallion thing.
Oh
Does it look-
yeah. I'm gonna pull out my little thing. I found this because I'm a fucking genius.
Do you,
Yeah.
Pretty
Do
cool,
you
But
mind
right?
it's ours. We're going to keep it.
I'm gonna hold out my
Belongs to
hand and
us.
be like, do you mind if I see it?
Nope.
Can you show me where you got it from?
Nope.
Well,
can
we could
take it
probably
to the
show
room.
you. Yeah, we could show you where it came
you
from.
take me there?
Yeah.
But we gotta go back in the cavern. It's back through there.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to go in there because Gertie.
We won't let Gertie get you. We can go back there.
Yeah. Oh, and Gertie's probably eating Squish at this point, and
That's
probably
true.
Buzz.
Jesus.
Yeah, Buzz isn't very smart.
When
But-
you think about Gertie not getting the children, you see more movement in the skeletons. They shift once again, two of them peeling off, and now four of them standing facing the Hag's Coven and completely blocking this entryway,
This is
as
gonna
if
be useful.
as if two barn doors closed. You can still see it, but only through their legs and rib cages.
I'm gonna look over at Rook and go, that's gonna be useful. But let's go check
Terrifying.
out. Let's go check out this room.
And to your question about the Arcana check, 2 sessions ago, you remember, most of you would have seen this, is that now as they stand up, you recognize that each one of them is wearing a sort of circlet,
Similar to bees.
similar to what Bees is wearing.
Gotcha. Okay.
And she acquired that in a very different way, but
Yeah. Okay.
she is also wearing this circlet.
I mean, we have time. You know, it's the day.
Yeah.
We've established they're not going to do anything until tonight, so.
Might as well go check out this room. I'm gonna take off one of my necklaces that I have that has a little moon on it and go. Tweet. How about we trade?
Can you
Hey, that
describe
one's-
this necklace?
That one's really expensive.
No,
that was a
it's
lot
not.
of money.
It's not the expensive one.
No, I know, but
The
I
plain
still got
silver
it for
one.
you. Look, I mean, come on. I picked it up in a random shop. You don't know how much I paid for it. It was a gift. I'm bullshitting.
Hey, you're right.
Okay,
It's
roll
expensive
deception.
and it's really, really rare. So, I mean, don't just give it up to a kid like that.
Okay, but we need something that they have.
Go ahead and roll a deception check for me, please. Or performance, whatever you prefer.
Let's go. Oh my gosh, I can't even. Sorry, just looking at my screen here.
And we'll
Yeah,
go
sure,
ahead.
roll
We're
deception.
gonna challenge this with your insight there.
tweet?
Oh, Tweet was just gonna roll a regular d20, and if it was below 10, he was gonna say no. If it was above 10, he was gonna say yes.
Sure. I
30,
just
20.
want. I just want to see how skilled his performance is.
30, 20 on
convincing
deception.
you this is the. This,
A 20,
okay, so,
yeah.
so he rolls a 20 at, and this is now in your eye. This is an exceptionally valuable thing that Bees just offered you. Very
It's like-
convincing.
It's a Claire's 3-inch wide moon that Rook randomly found. That was like, this might be useful. I don't know, and just picked up when they were in some random town.
I'll still let you make the ultimate call here, Luna. But this was a very convincing performance. That
Hi, Tweet, come here.
What-
We're gonna
what-
discuss it in private.
and yours is pretty in a way, but it's a stone wheel, right?
Right.
Hi, Tweet.
What?
I mean, let's be honest. This one's really old and you found it in a cave, man.
No, but it's special, and I got it out all by myself.
But do you see how pretty that lady is?
So,
But don't you get it? She's got a thing for you, mate. She likes you.
are you sure about that?
I mean, do you like girls?
I've never thought about it.
Well, now's a chance.
I walk up to Bee, and I look at that necklace. Yeah, sure, why not? I rolled a 19. I hand it to her.
Okay. Trade. So I have the amulet now.
So, are we going back to this cavern or not? It's got pretty good mural of a boat. It's pretty rad.
Okay.
should
Yeah.
see it.
Why don't you go show us?
Yeah, fearless leader, lead the way.
Yeah, all right, fine. I'll read the... Wait,
I,
look like I'm scared?
Big man,
Okay.
would you do us a favor and stay up here with these other giants and maybe take a look down at the hag, see if they're up to anything in the camp, if you can see from here.
Rogar agrees to back to be your back as you head through this tight crevasse. It's only a few dozen yards as you squeeze through. The kids have described where the hag appeared and grabbed the two, and then you emerge out into this opening, and this opening has a stone step on the north side, 2 steps high, and then this cave. It looks like a mine entrance or a tomb entrance, and on the floor in front of the cave is this carving of a ship's wheel. You head into that's where you are.
Ta-da! Here's the cave.
am casting guidance
Okay.
It's
on
beautiful,
myself.
right?
So I'm gonna go check out the murals.
All right.
Tweet's gonna push Rook towards the boat picture and be like, look.
Oh,
It's pretty rad, right?
It's nifty ass.
Yeah. So you are very quickly able to see that these murals, they are a depiction of part of the history of this island. You can see that on one you see these Furbolg clerics and what look like paladins on the decks of this ship, this large gray 3-masted ship that's the color of stone, and they are delivering food to the hungry around Faerun. In another one of the motifs, you see the island depicted as being a gathering place with people celebrating what looks like a moon festival. And you can see there that in all of these there is the depiction of Sahanin Moonbow, which is one of the, at this time, was one of the alter egos of Selûne.
So as Rook's looking at the boats and whatnot, and then the wheel on the ground and the wheel that's in the necklace, he goes, "Hey, B, love,
Yeah.
what's another name for the driving wheel of a ship?"
A helm.
Yep.
Guidance and the rest bring this insight together, and as Rook puts 2 and 2 together, it's clear to you that the helm is the helm of the Moon Maiden. And looking closer, you can see some arcane symbology, and you can just make out that indeed the front of this boat that is pictured is homage to the Moon Maiden, and you feel very strongly that the boat itself is what the Moon Maiden refers to.
So are we under the understanding that this island is like a boat,
Nope.
or like it's? So that's
No,
the part that I'm confused about. Like if you can drive it, or it's the driving power behind the island, or if it's like.
The island is pictured here separate from the boat. You can see
Right.
in one shot the boat is actually is ferrying parishioners here, and this island that you had learned from the tablets that Bees had decoded. This island is actually the only above sea level portion of a shard of some celestial body, some shard of a comet or a planet or a star or a moon
Okay.
that is
Okay.
stabbed into the earth. And
Because I'm just trying to get the imagery, because I'm thinking that there's all these things about helms, which we thought was helmet at first, but now we think it's like a driving mechanism. So I'm just wondering, because the wheels and whatnot, is this like a control center basically for whatever this is, or is it more like it's just it's more like a
Like a metaphor.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
well, the one thing I will say also, Bees, with your guidance intact, is you can see where this amulet popped out of the wall. You can see where the little impression is of where it, and it is exactly where the wheel of a boat would be in one of these depictions, right? And so it is quite literally represented there. In terms of the island being a center of control, you don't see a lot of that here, other than being an area where people can come and worship, sort of the powers of the moon and the
Does
goddesses.
this boat look like the one that we came up on?
No,
You know,
it's as big as the shadows gleam.
Yeah.
Everybody drink.
There she blows.
So I'm gonna look at the kid and be like, "Can you go out?"
you know, pretty lady, I do want to mention something. When I did touch that, when it was in the wall, it glowed.
Oh, okay.
Just FYI.
Thank
Do you
you.
like
It
things
was
that
more of a
glow?
glimmer, really.
Well, I mean,
Was it like a glint?
it was like a flash.
Yeah, it shimmered, but it was like really fast.
Can you guys go out and tell Geen and Runt to come in, and you guys?
I mean,
can
I
hang with
assumed
Rogar?
Geen and Runt followed. I assumed the
I don't know, did
entire
they?
party.
Yes.
Yeah, what
Geen-
you
Geen
talking
and Runt-
about?
Geen
We're
and
already
Runt-
here.
Everybody's here but Rogar.
So
What's your run?
backtrack.
Excuse
I'm gonna
Quite tight
tell
in here,
the
actually.
kids to go out with Rogar.
Rogar is
Yeah.
is guarding the
Yeah.
passage near the island.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, that's fine. We've had a little bit of adventure
Font.
for one day as it is anyway. Right,
You know what we
Tweed?
should do? We should go climb those skeletons. Let's go.
Yeah,
climb.
that's
I
a good
don't think the
idea.
skeletons would appreciate that. But
They're
you can
already,
let's go.
out.
they're already gone. That was too enticing.
No, I probably would have done
Bye.
the same thing.
Okay, so I'm gonna put the amulet back in the wall and touch it and hold it and see what happens.
And Rook's gonna go, ah! Oh, Gain.
It sits there for a minute and kind of seems to fuse with the painting.
And then touches it again.
Pops out into your hand.
Well, you tried.
I'm gonna
That's-
take the
Step.
amulet with
Why
me and go stand on the wheel thing.
Why don't you put it on?
Okay. You can feel, and I just have to ask you, how many things are you attuned to anything magically right
No.
now? Well, the circlet.
The circlet, that's it, yeah.
You feel a connection with this amulet, and as the thought of this wheel and standing on this wheel, as if you're meditating on the wheel, the amulet begins to grow. It expands, and it becomes the size of a full-size ship's wheel. And it's made of stone or petrified wood, and you're not sure why it doesn't feel heavier than it should, but you can hold it. It's comfortable. It still has weight, but you're holding it quite carefully, and it's essentially just come right off, and you're standing there holding a ship's wheel.
That's a new look.
Okay, but like, what does this go to?
What if it doesn't have to go to anything? What if you stand here and move it around and maybe something outside moves?
I'm gonna. Do one of you guys want to go stand at the entrance to see if something moves?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll go run, I guess, back up to where we walked,
Okay.
where we squeezed through.
I'm
maybe?
gonna turn it
Is
to
it-
the left.
Is that like the walkway from the entrance to where we are a long one? Or if he shouted, we'd be able to hear him?
You would probably be able to hear Rogar shout if he was to yell.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn it to the left and see what happens.
Am I seeing anything different?
Suddenly, the entire wheel in your hand turns to the left, but nothing else happens.
No, I got nothing.
Okay. Turn it to the right.
You do the hokey pokey, but nothing else happens.
Maybe if you turn yourself around. I don't know.
What if
just-
you what if you
just gonna
step
ignore
off?
him.
What if you step off?
Okay, I'm gonna step off.
Yeah, step off.
It stays the same size.
Oh.
What if I put it down on the
It stays the
Whatever.
same size.
helm that I was
Just this is probably not gonna mean anything, but I mean
This is
does it-
this is Luna.
yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
This is Geen. Okay, this is Geen speaking.
This no. Geen is a lot softer voice than me.
You don't say.
Does that look anything like decorative wise, or like does it look like it could attach itself to the boat that we rode?
No, the little canoe thing.
The canoe, yeah.
No, it's too big.
It's, okay.
No place for it to attach. It's
so
a
we
proper
need-
ship's wheel, like a sailing
Mhm.
ship's wheel.
Do you guys think that maybe there's a ship somewhere that it fits on that we haven't found yet?
I mean, there
It's
has
gotta
to
be.
be. Like, what else? What else
Maybe.
would there be?
Do you think the kids would know if there was a ship? I mean,
I
they've
mean,
been
they
on
was
this
just
island for a
here.
while.
They didn't say nothing.
I'm
That's
gonna
true.
call to Rook to come back.
Rook is there.
He
Oh, sorry.
left.
No, we.
Oh, sorry. No, pardon me. Runt is
Every-
there. Rook isn't there. Rook. You don't. You hear giggling, but you don't hear a lot of. Nobody's coming back towards you.
No, I'm gonna call him back to us though.
Yep, he's not. Nobody's coming.
I'm gonna walk out there.
They are playing on top of these two skeletons. Rogar is trying to get them to come down, and they're not having it. They're
Where
just-
did I go?
Yeah, we're Rook.
Oh, sorry. I'm getting very mixed up. Sorry. Pardon me. Pardon
No,
me.
no, we sent Rook to like just poke his head out to see if like anything happened.
I was thinking Tweet and Hoot. The kids are playing. Rook was playing with them, but he reluctantly came back.
I'll run back in. What? Any more errands? Yes. Can I get you tea, wine?
No, just we need to find a boat. Apparently, like tea would be nice though. Tea would be great because I'm a little overwhelmed right
I
now.
would just really like to kill something soon.
Okay, we can't until tonight. But tea, please.
I don't actually have tea.
Maybe we
I
can
literally
kill
just
someone
have
for
wine.
some tea. Yes?
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So it's all about
We-
Copperman.
I'm like, I'm gonna look
Perspective.
at Rook and be like, "You got your flask? Please tell me you have it, please."
I've got the... Yeah, sure. I take out the one that's filled with alcohol, not the one filled with the river water.
I'm just gonna whisper to Runt, and while they're having their little conversation about drinks, and just be like, "These two talk a lot."
Yes. But better they talk and we can hear what they're saying instead of the weird tapping that they do.
Yeah, that's true.
You
I saw
understand that, Runt.
Yeah, Runt would.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, Ron understands all the tapping.
Well, then
I'm gonna take
I
a big
am
swig.
behind in a lot of information.
But
chooses not to reveal
no,
it.
Shady hasn't been. Well, Runt hasn't been there very often to see
Yeah.
the tapping.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, Runt doesn't know too much about the whole tapping because she wasn't there that night.
So I'm gonna take a big swig from this flask because I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now.
Hey, Bees takes a medicinal dose.
Oh, it's medicinal, all right. It's
You know, Rook. What you should have given her was some of that water instead.
I don't know if you know how gin works. I mean, I know the same letters in your name, but liquid courage.
Yeah, but the water is calming, and
I don't have to
Could
be
work
calm
the
right
same
now.
thing.
Right now, I need to know
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about her.
Oh. Noted.
So I'm gonna hand the flask back to Rook, and I'm gonna pull out the map of the island. And can I tell where that ship where that ship used to harbor?
Looking at the painting,
Looking at the painting.
Yeah. You can see the dock where the ship used to harbor. There's a it's up in the northwest corner. It's a dock that extends out into the. It's not the way that you came in off the beach that you came in. It's different. You can sort of reference where you were, and you can see it was farther north than that. And indeed, you can see the outline of a ship moored to the, as you're looking at it, to the left side of this dock.
I think I found the ship, or where the ship
So-
should be.
that's a part of the island that none of us nor the children have been to.
This we do not know. You haven't asked the children.
I'm gonna take the map back over and show everybody else.
And it's a part of the island that most of you haven't been to.
I mean, do we think this ship is still there?
It could be hidden. I don't know. It's been a really long time. Those bolt's been dead for a while.
I know, but we need to prioritize between what can help us right now and what can help us after we've taken care of imminent danger.
That's true. The boat could help get us out, but do we want to get that ready just in case?
That's
I
not a
mean,
bad idea.
we're not gonna have time to get a whole ship ready.
I mean, we have hours still until the moon is high in the sky.
Yeah.
So
but it's a full
That is
moon
true.
tonight, and there are some things that need to be done.
we could divide and conquer. If you need to rest, some of us could go find that ship with some of the kids.
That is true. Actually, B, if you can you see if you can calculate how long it would take us to get to where that ship's apparently located on the map based on, distance direction?
Whip out my
Understand.
navigator's tools and start measuring. The problem is, though, I would venture to say probably need to go with you guys based on everything that's happened so far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we have the time for it, maybe it's worth it, maybe not.
I'm just thinking,
You need a rest. How long do you need a rest?
I need 4 hours, but it's a full moon tonight. If we're gonna, before we do anything, there's rituals that have to be done.
You have to do
And
it.
how long do those take?
I mean, not very long, but they still need to get done. They're gonna have to get done tonight before we go. If we have any shot of utilizing this island, I'd prefer to not piss any moon goddesses off.
Do you need to be sitting in one place to look at that? What if we just got back on the boat right now and you were able to navigate? So by the time we arrive back to the cavern, at least we're there.
I mean, I could. I just think up here might be a little bit better to do this ritual, considering that this is the high point of the island.
We can come back and do it. But we need to gather everyone together and try to figure out what needs to be done, like what Rook said, prioritize,
Yeah.
and possibly divide some of these things up so that we could.
Yeah.
We're definitely coming back here to start anything. Like,
Yes.
even if
Yeah.
we're heading toward the hags,
Yeah.
we're starting it from here.
And it didn't take us very long to get here either.
Not with a boat either. Now that we have it.
How long would it take us to get to this potential dock?
It looks as though it's on your map. It's through the North Passage, which you assume is where the kids were talking, and then that leads to a winding tract that spills out onto the boneyard. But as you are contemplating this, Bees, your skin begins to crawl, and you feel as though your entire body has just gone cold. Rook, your tattoos begin to glow blue and feel rather icy. Geen, your bracers begin to itch and feel agitated, and the bow on your back begins to hum. And then you realize that while you've been talking, your perception your focus just starting to come into your consciousness is this crackling electrical sound. And then you hear Rogar's voice going, "There's something here you may want to see." And you can hear him calling through the rocks. And as you look over the rocks in the direction of the Hag's Keep, you can see this purple-black energy begin to boil and curl and start to come over the horizon of the rocks, as if it's sort of smoky tendrils winding up, and this kind of, you had seen this kind of purpley black thing growing, but now it's like it's beginning to smoke up in this
That's not
form.
That's
Massacre.
not good.
We need to do something, and we need to do something fast.
It looks like those big friends of yours with the bones don't have to have you just be connected to the water to do anything.
No.
Let's just kill some hags. Right, Ron?
But I mean, those
Yeah.
skeletons don't look like they're going to be walking through that boneyard anytime soon.
If I kind of will them, I don't have a better word for it, to take a step forward, would they?
You can't see them, so you wouldn't be sure right now. You're still outside this
Yeah, we're still inside this like cave thing with the wheel and everything, right?
or
Yeah,
at least
why
out
don't-
of the
Why don't
doorway.
we take
of
the
it.
necklace and
Yeah, let's.
walk off back to the point there outside where Rogar is?
Is this Rook saying this to Bees?
Yeah. Let's take the necklace with you. Let's just go outside. We really need to. Every
Well,
bone
it's
in my
not a
body is
necklace
saying.
anymore. It's a giant ass wheel.
As soon as you think necklace, it shrinks back to the shape of its
Okay.
of the amulet.
Baby, just put it on.
Put it on. I put it on and just.
Okay.
Let's go, Rent.
You find yourself on
okay.
the other side of this rock. You can see that the children have gotten down and are now kind of cowering behind Rogar. They're looking actually at the rock and the boat, and Rogar is arms crossed, standing, watching as this black mass is writhing and kind of beginning to rise from the Hag's keep. It's about 2 o'clock in the evening now, or pardon me, in the afternoon. And you can see movement in bits and pieces between the standing stones that are in this boneyard and the legs of these skeletons. And you can barely make out that one of the hags is out and she's casting. And then you can start to see skeletal warriors begin to rise up and begin to stand guard around the coven. They're obviously alerted to the movement of these warriors. You can also see that the boneyard is beginning to undulate a bit, and there is sort of this worm, as if a worm was underneath the soil, is pushing its way through and kind of writhing around the boneyard. And the kids, Tweet and Hoot, you're familiar with these two occurrences. I mean, these are some of the things that you do not like to look at and deal with here. The rest of you are seeing the hags prepare. And it's as if they're the enemy on the other side of a front and they are drawing their lines.
All right, well, we've lost the element of surprise, so any preparation is now the only reason to come back from this.
We need to get that boat, and we need to figure out how we're going to go about this.
I think the time for thinking has actually dropped off.
I mean, they was trying to kill me. Maybe I can like run out and be like, "Hey, stupid bitch, come get me," and then we can like
Right, no.
ambush them.
No, that's
The only problem is, do we wait for the moon? Do we wait for night? Because I'm getting two conflicting messages.
I mean, we're going to have to. Like this fountain is emulating moonlight, and I'm guessing it's positioned in a way that the moon is going to hit it.
Well, they're looking right up at us right now, so and they've seen these large skeletons here move. So
Hoot and Tweet, just to put them back in the NPC space for a minute here, they are wanting to get back to their friends. They begin to speak of, we've got to go back and we've got to make sure the others are safe. We have to get ready ourselves, and we're worried about our friends. We're worried about Bark.
go.
Let's
can
take
get
this.
back.
Let's
Okay.
take this boat. We'll come back.
Let's
Yeah.
regroup.
Yeah.
Let's plan. These skeletons are going to keep this area safe, whether we're here or not. They probably felt the hags
Yeah.
doing something.
Or they'll
That's
listen to
why
what
they
you're
stood up.
thinking anyway. So
I'm helping the kids into the boat.
All of you step onto this. Well, whoever wants to steps onto this boat, and it feels as though it's a solid piece of rock. Are all of you on the boat at this point?
Yeah. And I'm willing it down the
As
river.
soon as you will it back, it courses back down this stream as fast as you're willing to move it, and
Water rapids.
and it rides itself back up on the ground next to the bush where you found it originally, and you are now still through the bracken and the brush. You can see the boneyard and more skeletal warriors rising, and this now you can very clearly see this crackling energy above the trees, and you are at the path that leads back to the children's caves.
yeah, I guess do you guys think we should go back to where the little cave is there, and maybe up to that lookout point? If we go back to caves, I go straight back up to that point.
When you look out on the lookout point, you can just see one of the hags going back into the keep, and she has sort of surveyed, and she feels like her defenses are kind of in place, and your sharp earring bouncing off the rocks can sort of hear its voice say, "We must see it done. Back to work, ladies."
I'm assuming that means children.
Yeah, I'll come sliding back down the ladder into the little alcove.
And
area.
here, yeah, and by the way, when you guys arrive, you see that Griffaro is there, Bilkorm is there, and Bark is there. Still sitting in the cavern is Clarissa. Clarissa.
Clarissa. Runt, can you tell us everything that you saw when you were over there? What it looked like, where everything was?
I mean, there was feeding the kids things in this pot, and there was this green chains, and there was the sailors who was messing with barrows, and there's lots of curtains, like fancy curtains.
Were those chains real?
They was green, but they was like shiny, so maybe magic. Oh yes, because when they came and got to the person, they was like, oh, it wasn't like they had a key. They were just like, "Rrr," and then the chains came off.
So the kids can't just get up and leave. Can either of you make magic go away somehow?
Not this kind of magic.
I mean, maybe if we stabby the right person, the magic go away.
Possibly. Do you know which hag did it?
I don't know if it was the ugly one or the ugly one, or if it was the ugly one, but I'm pretty sure it was the ugly one.
Okay. That's very
That really
helpful,
narrows
Rut.
it
Thank
down.
you.
Yeah, fuck.
Well, either way, some of us are going to have to go down in there to either lure the hags to somewhere. I mean,
I'm very, very fast.
At this point,
So
Bart
am
comes
I.
over to you and says, "Like we told you before, the skeletons and the bones, they're too dangerous right now, and it's not until they begin the high moon ceremony that we can get in and get out. At that point, the bones seem to slow down or disappear, and we're able to get through. That's why we're waiting till tonight to rescue the kids. We're going to kill them tonight. We're going to kill them once they start their magic."
Have they? Is it like they've done this before? Like they've waited till the full moon to maybe grab one or two kids from out from under them?
That's how
or-
all of us have
Yeah.
gotten here.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I went in, and we're always on the lookout for somebody getting free, and when the chance strikes, we're able to grab them and give them a safe place to hide.
Okay, a battle plan is slowly forming in my brain. So Rook is going to take a swig of the same flask again. Then he's going to walk next to B and pull the small water out that has the from the creek. And before he takes a sip, he's going to look at B and be like, "Mask is talking again." Take a sip of the calming water. And then he's going to basically lay out what he thinks they should do. And I'm just going to say to my regular voice, because whatever. I was thinking that the only thing we could do is maybe Runt and Rook could get into where the kids are and hide themselves as kids. I have disguised self, and Runt looks like Runt. And then, and this would be at midnight when the boneyard is not active, so that we can just run straight in instead of having to worry about this active bone worm. And then
It's
we
less
would-
active. It's,
yeah, less
they're
active.
slowed
yeah.
down.
Yeah, and then I would just converge as much as possible right in the center of where that table is, where that cauldron is, and cause as much chaos as possible, and get the big furbolgs, the skeletons, to come in too as well. That's all I can think of. So he just kind of says that.
I would also like to mention that Runt has these daggers that can get her out of sticky situations. Not very often, but she can do it. And these bracers that I got can get me from one place to another only once a day, but I can take someone with me. So if anyone's going in there, I can get them out without having to do anything. Just will a door open and I can bring them through.
Right. But can you make yourself look like a kid?
I can't, but I'm pretty
Hey, wait a
quiet.
second. Can you make yourself look like a hag?
Me? Or
I can make
him?
myself look like anything.
That's one. Okay, because there was like,
I don't know if Runt knows this or not. I don't remember how I know the information, but it was one of the hags was talking about how there was another hag
The
that
green one.
screwed up and got smoked, and they had to replace her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does Runt have that information? Is that where I found that out when she was inside
You
there?
said, yeah, Tim said that Runt knows about that hag from Baldur's Gate,
Okay.
but didn't explain why and how.
And does she? But does
You
she
did.
remember? Yeah.
Oh, I
Does
said
she-
that this sounded familiar to you, Runt.
But does she remember that she heard that one of the hags was killed and replaced with someone else?
Yes.
Did they
she does
talk
remember.
about that in the camp area? Because the kids and Geen talked about it. So
Yeah.
and actually, B and Rook should know as well. We talked about it in the cavern, but did the hags mention it in the actual hag area?
Yeah, that's my question. Yeah,
I don't think
remember.
so.
Because I remember it being told to us that one of them died, one of them got killed, and they
Okay.
were
Mm-hmm.
replaced.
So it
She
was to
doesn't
us,
know
but
that,
not
so-
Rent.
Okay, so she doesn't know that. All right, all
Okay.
right, all right.
Yeah.
But that's
And
not a
so-
bad idea either, though. I mean, I could make myself look like I could make myself look like the hag that got offed. Walk in right in the middle of it.
And just be
Yeah, so
like,
she-
hey, what the fuck?
Yeah, like I could do that.
I'm
That
a-
would cause
yeah.
chaos, and I'll knock the
I'm
cauldron.
gonna
over
look
the
at
same
Rook
time.
and be like, but remember, there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Remember, just walking into that.
And you might not. I'm assuming all hags don't look the same. So even though we know that she was green, you turning into a hag, they might not fall for it so easily.
You might be better off turning
child.
into purple one.
And they'd probably be really good at spotting magic too. So it's only going to last for a good couple of seconds. It's only-
And
Yeah,
plus, does
probably.
that thing allow you to change your height because you are a pretty tall guy?
Well,
and
as
down.
you're talking, Rogar decides that he's going to head up to that
I don't know if you could
overlook,
pass
and he and
as a
Griffro
kid.
both go over there.
Before Rogar leaves, I quickly, as he's walking toward the overlook, I just say, I might need your help, mate, before this whole thing goes down. Your
Yeah.
particular breath.
Oh, could you make yourself look like one of the sailors and be like, "Hey, look what I caught," and then
He
bring
sort of
me in?
regards you, and you're not sure whether or not he agrees or not. He heads up. Griffro is standing right behind him. Says, "You guys are wasting a chance to relax. I think I'm gonna go up there with him and close my eyes." And you can see now that he's beat up. He's been in some sort of a fight, and he makes his way up to the top. You can hear some voices as he and Rogar exchange a few sort of words, and then you can actually hear Griffro begin to snore. What you think are snores from up this ladder. Okay.
So, Rook, if you guys are going in, where does that leave?
I don't know. I don't know the range of you being able to control those big bony burrows.
Well, I look like a kid, and Bilk is down there, and I can pass for a kid.
Not you do.
Run's idea about you looking like a sailor is not a bad idea. And you could bring a child in. I mean, they are... No, wait, they aren't technically missing one because they got one
They are. They're
back
missing
and
Runt.
got
They're
Buzz.
missing Runt.
Yes,
Right,
but they
but-
would remember me. I made a very big impression.
They would.
That is true.
I'd like to go up to the lookout for a second.
As
You
you
just
do,
wanna-
you can see Griffro is leaned up against the rock holding his hammer, and you can see his eyes are kind of in the direction of the keep, but he seems to be just resting, gathering his strength.
Okay, so bear with me because I'm going to try something here. Can I see the skeletons, the furbolgs from here?
Yep.
I'm going to see if they'll take a step forward.
You feel that the connection you had with them when you were in the proximity of that island has weakened. And you can sense them, but they don't appear to be taking any direction easily. You're not without tremendous effort on your part.
Okay, so I'm going to go back downstairs.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't try it, but I mean, it's just the way you were commanding them before doesn't seem to be working.
No, that's just all I needed to know. So I'm going to go back downstairs and go, yeah, it's not going to work very well from far away.
Every so often, Rook's
you.
gonna turn to the left and just go, like something's like tapping his shoulder.
So, could you?
So if I'm understanding this correctly, B needs to be back up at that fountain. We need to find this boat, and Rook and Rund, possibly Bilk, and I don't know if you guys want me to go with you as well to get someone out of there, would go down towards where these hags are. Once the moon is high in the sky, that purple thing that we saw, I'm assuming it will go down. So going in there is not going to be a problem. It's the coming out part with the 30 children that I'm worried about.
Can't we just like run towards the water and then the pretty one can just punch them with the magic?
With the Furbolg magic?
Yeah, with the water thing that she picked me up with.
That
From the
is
river.
true.
She could pick
Can-
them up and like instead of setting them on nicely, she could throw them like really far.
What happened to those? You said that skeletons were chasing you and the water hit them?
It was like a big scary skeleton and then the water came out and it was like, fuck off!
It was.
Did-
We're assuming it was that worm thing, right? That you were talking about, Tim.
Yep, the abyss.
What happened to that when the water hit it? Did it just disappear or die?
It fucked off.
Oh, so it's still alive.
It
Yeah.
No, it's smashed.
I
Fall
thought
to
it got
pieces?
I thought it got like
Yeah, it's
disintegrated.
smashed.
But
or at least
it's-
knocked apart and having to
Yeah.
there's a lot of water and
I'm wondering what would happen if we can lure the hags close to the water and, I don't know, try and drown them or do something with that.
So
Yeah, it's not a bad idea either.
it's not a bad idea. And my thought is that we use the water to kill the hags because, like, they're on the evil side of the moon, and this water is, like, imbued by the good side of the moon.
Do you
So-
think that you could have an arm or tendril of that water reach all the way to where the hags are?
I don't know. I wouldn't
No.
know without trying.
No, but you could have me and Runt just appear in front of the hags and then be like, still can't catch us, bye! You know, and start running back
That's
the way
true.
we did last
Could you maybe? Oh, what if you made yourself like that other girl that escaped?
Just a really tall version of her.
Well, it's a foot shorter, so 5 foot.
That's not a bad idea. But once the other question is will the hags follow?
That is the
Oh.
question.
I mean, they followed those kids through the tunnels, but
But
are
even
they
if
going to
if we
fall
can
for
get
this?
one of them away, that would help us tremendously because there's 3 of them together.
Right. So here's then what we should maybe do, bearing that, is that we should get in and get them to come out toward the river and then use that power from the river to at least deal them some damage.
I have
somehow.
a feeling that Gertie one might be the one that would get lured away.
She did try to
She's the leader, though. Would she want to stay close to where their cavern or whatever it is that they are at? I don't know. if
the sailors work for them, so maybe they just be like, hey, stupid, go get them.
That's true. But I mean, what we could do is follow Rook's idea, have Runt and him just try to lure them out. In the area that's the entrance where everyone came in through, where that purple curtain, where I'm assuming it'll go down once this whole moon thing happens. Some of us, possibly me, Griffaro, Rogar, could go through that way. And if we can get the chains of the kids to, I don't know, somehow go away, try to lead the kids out through there while the others are attacking the hags. I don't know if we want to leave someone with B or have her just be up here or
So
up
Runt,
there by herself.
Runt, you do recall that when you left, hardly any of the children were chained anymore. They seem to all be quite content.
malleable with the spell, right?
They were, in fact, that's one of the reasons you were able to get away, was because the chains simply didn't reappear.
So the thing is we just can't have them near to each other. That's when they're powerful. Near to each other, not necessarily in a certain place.
How close to each other is too close?
I don't know. I have no idea.
They're really mad at me. They do not like me.
Well, then why don't we do that? Do you use Rook's idea? It seems like a really plausible idea.
I
We can add a
just,
little chaos to it and have me and her Runt appear behind where the cauldron is and maybe tip the cauldron over and then be like, haha, and start to run away.
But they're
we
not
also
that
have to-
stupid. They're gonna be like, okay, something's up here. They're not just going to come back to us.
That's true.
we don't know what's going to happen when the moon hits this thing, though. This fountain thing.
And as you're discussing, sitting around this fire,
The planning stage
that
is
hour
always
is
the hardest stage.
no, for sure. That is creeping
Sorry.
closer, right?
Well, I think first things first, obviously the best bet for you is to be at that helm, is what we're calling it, where the water is,
Do you
where
think
you're
it's
in sight. I think
smart
so. I think that's
for
where
you and I to separate, though? Like,
Yeah, of
we've
course.
never
Yeah.
separated like this.
you have the phone. Yeah, plans change, adapt,
I think-
overcome, replan. Remember?
With how important B seems to be to this island, having you by yourself might be a good thing. And for you to embrace this power, Maybe it is better if you did it alone.
Old school magician's trick. Look over here while I do shit over here.
Exactly. Although
I don't know.
know
I just
what
don't think
that
it's
means.
wise for me to be by myself.
I think with those skeletons though,
They're
not
not
going
going to
to.
be up there though. They'll be with you guys.
well, you'll have
No, I would-
access
I
to the
would leave-
power of the water.
I would leave him up there. I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking that the main idea to pull them away from where their camp is and head toward the water is a great one. But my other thing is that at this point, when you've got like an area where they think they're safe and secure and that their plan will continue, if you just dump a ton of chaos right into their face, usually it
Right.
screws with them. So by you throwing 2 of the 3 skeletons their way, by
There's
having
4.
the control, oh, there's 4. So 3 of the 4 skeletons that you can hold on to their way, by throwing me and Runt into the mix, by having Geen just show up out of nowhere and just, drop. I mean, I can cause them to not be able to speak for a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many spells they can cast or what they can do, but if I can cause them to just not be able to have their voices, maybe that will change their magic a bit in a certain
I
area.
can do that too. I can do that too. So that's like
Yeah.
2 we can do that.
We can put two of them together, like or adjacent to each other, and therefore maybe it'll cut some of the magic off. Who knows? It depends on what they can do. But I just think that if we try to lure them away, it might not work. I think we just have to shove as much chaos down the 3 of those ugly throats as possible, and the kids can get away with Hoot and Tweet.
We can have the other kids
have the
lead
other
them
kids
out.
pull them away through the same gap in the rock that they escaped through.
Oh, most of them aren't going to leave. You can see these kids now have been listening to you, and they're not going to leave while those hags are there.
We need to get them-
They've already eaten the cake,
Shit. So
Okay.
if they're dead,
and
does that work anymore?
well, they're not dead, but
No,
No,
the
it's-
hags.
but it's
The
the
hags. The
but
hags.
if the hags are,
If the hags are dead.
we've got a chance until they use the mirrors, and
Right.
once they use the mirrors, we have no chance.
So if they're going to be stuck in place, that means that whatever battle happens, we have kids in the way, and there could possibly be some of them get hurt.
I mean, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I don't know
Rook
about you
Rook
guys.
has this like looks at Geen with this like really kind of disappointed look of like being like, oh, welcome to war. Like,
You were, excuse me, Rook, but you and B were the ones who were so concerned about getting these 30 children out of here just a day or so ago. Right now you're not pulling that heart. You're not caring anymore.
we might get 28 out, 27, 26, 25. Do you think it was just me and B who escaped? Never mind. I'm not going to talk.
I'm
about
gonna put my hand on Rook's shoulder.
it. I'm just saying.
What time of day is it now?
Yeah, how much time do we have until?
Well, you can hear Rogar coming down the ladder. Things seem to be quieting down. That purple cloud is far up in the sky, and it's hanging now higher. What's our plan?
Well, we're sort of divided. Maybe you can be
It's
the deciding
fine.
vote.
It's fine. Let's just go with Rook's idea. Let's do it. It's fine.
What is that? What is that?
I think it was suicide.
Yes,
That's what it was going with. Yes.
What is the plan?
What is the plan?
Is the plan? I can't do it. I'm sorry, Brad. I can't do it.
Right, I'm too high pitched.
Well,
Well,
we've got
Prime
2
Minister.
options. Have to
Where
do
do you need me?
Tapping on Rook's hand.
Okay.
What is she tapping?
Hey, yeah.
You have to
All right.
message Shady now.
yeah. You have to. Yeah,
I'll message
you have to message Shady at me
Right.
now. Ah, there you go. Welcome to the club. You know what this means? Now we can talk to each other, and no one else will know
Right,
what
and
we're
no one
saying
else will
either.
know.
So we can make jokes like
It's
on,
exciting.
at everyone's expense. Happy about that. As B is tapping Rook's hand and he sees Runt kind of watching them, he kind of smacks his right shoulder again, and in Celestial you hear him say, "I shall get more trophies for you."
I
can
understood that.
Things quieting down. The the children go back to sharpening their weapons, and they've kind of huddled together
Has
in one corner, and they're talking and looking sort of over their shoulder at you, and they seem to be making their own plan.
I just think you can make the best plans in the world, and everything goes to shit the minute you start. So,
Brogar, has the moon started rising yet?
I figure we have, well, let's say 2 hours till dusk, and then we'll see where the moon is. But if we're going to see it, it'll be then.
Didn't you guys say you needed a rest?
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Well, why doesn't B take that now, and then we'll come back and make our final decisions. If anyone can think of anything else in that time, we'll do it. But let's have her rest. She's gonna need it tonight.
Seems like a smart idea.
And then I want to leave the cavern and go towards the entrance. I know my bow hummed and my bracers felt tingly. Did my lotus stone do anything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the entrance of the cavern, somewhere secluded, look to see if nobody follows me or followed me, and pull it out if I feel safe.
The energy that you felt, particularly when you felt that crackling, which was almost as if the stone was going hot, subsided when you passed the feeling in your you've got it in your pocket, your breast pocket or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in my pouch.
It felt uncomfortably hot when you realized that there was this dark energy crackling, and then when you passed the font, when you passed that crescent shape platform with the water on it, it once again cooled very quickly. And at that point, it felt you would have had the sensation, now that you reflect on it, that you almost felt as though the ritual was beginning. Then as you move down the water away from that area, the stone, you lost that sensation, you forgot about it. Now that you're reflecting on it, the stone feels as it did before, with just a slight memory of this kind of, I would say, more active than normal, but definitely not as active as it was near the font.
And it does nothing as I'm holding it out.
No, it's daylight.
Okay. I'll put it back and I'll just think about it while B takes her rest.
So if B's taking a rest, I'll go talk to Rogar.
Yeah, let's talk about what's happening over the next few hours here. So B, you're taking a rest. Is there rest? Is there anything else? Is there anything
Drink.
else that you want to do during that time? Let's just go around the table. What are you
Well,
intending?
I need 4 hours for a log rest.
And are you doing anything else? Eating, drinking?
Once I get up and the moon is, I'll eat, and then once I get up and the moon is up, I'll do the Salune ritual.
Sure, you're going to do that here?
No,
Okay,
once we get back up to the,
Okay, and sorry, as you're resting, are you eating or drinking?
Mhm.
What are you drinking?
just whatever alcohol I have in my flask, because
All right.
I'm a little.
You got a little bit
freaked out
left.
right
You got the other half of the gin left.
All right.
I separated into the two.
Good. Runt, what do we see Runt doing at this point?
She would have slipped away from the group to try and see if she goes towards the boneyard. If anything notices her, if she's trying to be sneaky.
You see the bones broiling and railing, and are you going on the wooded side of the boneyard?
Whichever side is
At the southern side of the map?
is
Okay,
closest,
so you would head back towards the stream, not quite get there, and then you can head towards the boneyard through there. This is where you ran through away from that construct. You don't want to get too close, because you can see the bones, like, well, you may want to get close, but you can see that this is an active threat. The other thing that you see, Runt, is you see that several of these bone warriors are marching towards the furbolgs skeletons, and they are actually working they are taking these heaps of children's bones and they are dumping them into a large pile between two of the standing stones, almost directly in front of these Furbolg warriors, as if they're trying to create a barrier, a mound, and it's getting quite large. You'd estimate that it's 10 feet high at this point, and it's just like they're building this hill of bones directly in front of those
So
Furbolgs.
it does it look like they're trying to create a barrier to like
Yeah.
stop them?
No, but you can tell that it's a barrier to obscure that opening from the keep.
Okay.
So as if you were standing at the keep, you wouldn't be able to see the gap.
Oh.
It's directly
That's
in
not
that
good.
sight line, right?
Okay. So are they busy?
They're busy. It's busy like an anthill. You also see some of the skeletons picking up these large, maggoty, human-faced larvae, and they seem to be carrying them up and over to one area around the hag's keep, and they're jamming them into a couple of the slots, a couple of the window slits, right? And
So if I try
seem to
and
be trying to kind of corral them.
if I try and Scooby Doo my way through there, is anybody gonna pay attention?
The moment you get within about 10 feet, you can feel that the bones begin to undulate, and you can sense that something is coming close, and the earth is kind of.
Okay. All right then.
You can press your luck if you would like, but
Yes.
okay. What would you like to do?
I got inspiration for you, Shady, if you need it.
I do too, actually. I want to try and see if I can. I'm trying to do some surveillance on the key. I want to see what the hags are doing right now before we're about to
Okay.
go do this. thing.
You are about 10 feet away from the edge of the boneyard, still within the trees. Your view is partially obscured by a large dead tree directly in front of you. You are directly south from the Hag's Coven.
Okay.
You are less than, if you could pass through the wall, you would be, we'll say, 50 feet from the inside of the termite. The edge of the termite mounds. Another 15 feet beyond that, you're inside the building. So, at its
How many
closest
stealth
point,
checks are we talking here?
you can go ahead and roll your first.
Okay. Please don't be a 1. That would be great.
Oh, to have
18.
passed without a trace. That would be great.
eh.
18. All right. A large swarm of bones sort of comes close and then courses away from your position. And as you take a step 10 feet into the boneyard, tell me how you're moving. You see this thing continue to move away from you. You can see that there's several warriors occupied with this movement. You do not see any of the large bone golems in front of you. And far off in the distance on the other side of the path, you think you can see movement, but you're essentially standing in this wasteland now, 10 feet into it, just having left the edge of this dead tree.
Okay. I want to try and shadow any of these things that are like building the wall, so to speak. As far
They're
as I
quite a
can
ways away, so you are at the
okay.
southern. You're at the southern end. The maggots are being collected on sort of the north, the western side. You don't know what's happening on the northern side, and on the eastern side is where they're piling this mound.
Okay.
Also, the sun is starting to, although it's not dusk yet, it is. The shadows of the surrounding rocks are now bathing this area in a shadow.
Well, that's perfect. Let's use those.
Okay. You're standing there.
And let's keep going forward then.
Another check, please.
Slinking along.
You got this.
22.
You managed to make it another 10 feet into this boneyard. You are now roughly 10 feet away from the first of these termite mounds.
Continuing along.
You seem
Nice
to
field.
literally be walking. Go ahead and roll another check, please.
23.
You see to your left the mound stop and kind of circle for a minute as if it's a dog trying to lay down, and then slowly start to move closer towards the bone pile, and ending the end of its range. And you can see that it's starting now to pivot slightly and turn around, but not directly at you, just starting its lap.
Okay.
And you have
So-
another 10 feet to go.
A little more of the tiptoe.
Okay. Do one more stealth check.
Didn't.
30 with a net 20.
I was just
Alright.
singing that in my head.
You are
Yeah,
able
right.
to slip between two of these termite columns. However, it is not one with a window directly. The closest one that you know is there is the one you came through. It will be about going around about 3 of these columns clockwise.
Okay. So I will continue forward with the best
You wanna-
spots for hiding.
So, do you want to walk around the column up? Describe to me how you're moving.
If there's a way to be higher,
Yeah, you can scale
look
between
down.
these, like you're climbing
Yeah.
between a chimney.
yeah.
So you can definitely start to make your way up a couple of these termite mounds, and they are of the shorter kind. And now you are perched on top of one, and as more of them sort of head up a little further, and it's sandy, so you can kind of not sandy, but it's kind of punky, so you can dig your hands in, and you're now able to look down, and you're obscured, but now you can kind of see the light from one of the windows to your left. Sort of 2 of these columns over. So you come up through them, and now you can kind of take your pick. You can see also that farther around, you get the sense that there's another one there. Just basically the shape. You can see an impression, however, that's not lit.
Okay.
The one that is lit, you are sure is the one that you popped out of. That would lead you back into the main room. The impression that the other one that you're seeing using your sort of sense is closer to that desk or maybe the curtain that was behind Candle. What was her name? Candleteeth.
Yeah. I kind of want to check that one out.
You begin to climb over. I'd like you to just do a quick check for dexterity, athletics, or acrobatics.
14, 7, 21.
Oh yeah. So you are able to dig in, and there's a little bit of falling sand, but you seem to scale, doing your second story work and whatnot, over, and then you're able to lower yourself down into this chimney, and it's quite tighter, and you actually feel quite secure because it's deep. But soon enough, you see that there is a your feet are about a foot off the entrance of this window. Suddenly behind you
Ooh.
is the clattering of bones as a skeletal warrior, not bearing an arm, has this large, maggoty, pus-colored being kind of screaming like an ornery baby with this face of a woman on it, and he kind of wedges this thing in and pushes it through the window, and then turns around and kind of shambles off.
Oh my god, I'm just getting visions of the character from Bleach who's got the caterpillar baby face thing. Oh, it's not good.
Yeah, this is that one that looks like
Or if anyone's watched Critical Role this week, that.
this is Soul Larva.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man, why does it look like Freddie Mercury?
I was gonna say Dave Grohl, but sure.
Oh yeah, Dave Grohl. Oh yeah, right. We did. It was
Yeah.
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl. So you are now, bridging yourself just above this window. The skeletal warrior's gone.
Cool. So, Can I see the desk or the curtain?
Nope. When you look in, you can see a bed.
Is anyone in the bed?
There are 2 of these maggot creatures on the bed. Kind of. Are
they- They're just chilling?
They're kind of writhing around, looking kind of agitated, and as your eyes adjust, you can see there's more on the floor, kind of moving around. But that's all you can see from this vantage point is the bed and a piece of the floor and a hunk of curtain. And you can hear voices inside.
Keep
Voices
the work up,
inside.
ladies. It's almost time.
Oh, let's approach the voices.
You're able to slip through this window, and you can let yourself into the room. You're sort of hunched on this window. You may have one eye out, looking for another warrior. As soon as these human faces begin to look at you, they kind of scream and
Shut the
these
fuck
funny,
up.
these funny kind of little tormented whines and
Oh, there's a reason why we don't keep them inside, ladies. But they're too valuable. I hope they shut up soon.
Yeah, me too.
you hear another voice say,
Well, we don't want to lose any of them, do we, Bertha? Not with all this work we've put into them.
and then the voice of Candleteeth, who you know. You can hear her in a slightly sweeter, hag-like voice say, I'm gonna be glad when this business with Karathur is done.
Son of a bitch.
Okay. So, I would like to try and find a position where I could get at them quickly, but where they would not be able to see me. The hags themselves.
You can step down onto this this bed, and these things kind of begin to swarm a little bit. There's 2 of them on the bed that you're stepping down onto, right? And then there is as you step inside, you can see that there are 2 more beds. A very large bed is the next one over, and then there's a smaller bed farther in around the corner. This is an entirely curtained area, and you can see that it looks as though something heavy has been placed along the bottom of the curtain to hold these maggots in. All told, there's probably about 15 of them right now, milling around. The 2 of them on the bed kind of turn to regard you and start to sort of skitter towards you with these strange
Jesus.
Okay.
Did you want to do anything?
Well, I would like to peek and see if I can see where the hags are at, and if they're somewhat close, I want to go back and then hide under the bed, the closest bed to the curtain.
Okay, you are able to start to move towards the curtain. As you move close to these larvae, a bunch of them begin to swarm around the bed that you're on, and the 2 that are on the bed begin to come directly towards you. And it's at that moment, when you lock eyes with one of them, that these images flash of torment and a past life and images of evil and murder, and it's just like this wave of things coming into you, and it's quite disturbing, right? And you're able to kind of shake it off, but you are hearing voices. You are hearing, malicious intent, and as though these creatures are hungry for you, and they come right up to you, and you see a couple of them are kind of struggling, wanting to get up onto this high poster bed. So the 2 of them are at your feet. One of them will sort of reach its mouth out to bite you. Okay?
Sure.
It will snap at you. It doesn't hit you, and the other one is rearing back for what looks like some sort of an attack. Instead of biting you, it seems to be invading your mind, and it's as if for a moment it's asking you questions or looking for something, and now you start to see pictures of yourself with your friends, pictures of the cave in your mind, pictures of your time in Baldur's Gate, pictures of Rogar, pictures of a past life, images of the boat crossing. This thing is mining your mind, and
I want to stab it.
Okay.
Fuck off.
You go to hit it. Go ahead and roll your attack. Sorry, before you do, I want you to roll a dex check. Sorry, a constitution check.
Constitution. Oh, son of a bitch.
Saving throw or check?
Check, thanks. Sorry. Pardon me. Saving throw. Thank you.
Oh,
It
Is it con or wisdom?
On.
It's her mind.
19.
This is. I'm just reading the thing here. It's called Infest, and it's. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So DC 14, and you had a what?
19.
19. You're able to shake this off, and what's left in your mind is this kind of. There's this sort of just this viscous feeling in your mouth that something is interested in. Now, when you save on the face looks somewhat sad as you kind of finish stabbing it, and it lets out this little peep. And what was your roll and your damage, please?
I did not attack, so I'll do that.
Oh, pardon me.
It was go back to my actions. Attack plus 18
You hit it, and your damage.
is sorry.
Is
I
it
got
prone?
It is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of damage.
You stab it. It only takes half of that damage, and it sort of just oozes closed again, and it it doesn't even seem to super phase the thing. It just kind of goes and kind of rolls and falls off the bed. Okay.
Okay.
You are now up against the edge of the bed where there is a curtain. This other one is sort of, maneuvering around to try to get another bite at you.
I'm hiding, running. Get the fuck off
Okay.
me.
All right. You get off the bed. Instantly, this gross, slow crawl. These things start to inchworm towards you. There's 2 or more beds. There are a couple of, and there's curtains. There's a small free space that you can run through, and now you are towards the last bed in the room.
Wherever I can hide, I would like to hide, but I don't want to leave because I know that the group's plan is to
Sure.
come rushing in. So
You see underneath the beds themselves, there's maggots and there's these things crawling around, but you are able to kind of wedge yourself up onto a night table against the curtain, and you can kind of peek out. And these things seem interested in you, but also a little bit like clueless. So they're sort of, bumping up against the table and wanting to kind of rise up to get you. And you see a couple more being pushed in as this is happening. As you gaze out of this curtained area, you can see that the children are all sitting. The desk is now devoid of mirrors. The scrying glass is still there. The ledger is in the arms of Candleteeth, who is putting it on a lectern next to the cauldron. Nanny Bertha is standing on the cauldron. Gertie Grinder is on the other side of her. You can see that the Oni is standing there with them, this female Oni. She is speaking to them, and they're kind of talking about,
We don't need any distractions. We need to complete the ritual, and then we'll be done with this. The moon is almost up, and if anyone tries to attack us, then we'll be at full strength. We can complete this job quickly.
that's,
Prudence Candleteeth
that's not good.
seems to be listening after this. Gertie Grinder is also listening. The Oni is saying,
Why do I wait? Just let me out. I can see what I can see, and perhaps I can I can see whoever moved those skeletons. We don't need any white moon business here tonight.
Alright. Well, I'm going to chill for the moment unless it looks like something's going down and hope that I hear a voice in my head like I did last time that I was
Sure.
in here.
You continue to wait as the hags make their final preparations. As we head back up into the overlook, having not seen you move in there, a Griffaro lets loose his last fart and wakes up.
I want to talk to Bee while she's eating.
We head down into the room, and you can see there that you are next to the fire still with bees. The children have left the cave. There was a bit of a scrap between Clarissa and Hoot, where she had to force some water down her throat. But that seems to be resolved, and they are now outside, and you can hear them kind of milling around, getting ready as you saddle up to bees.
Bee, you're muted.
Yes.
If it's all right with you, I'd like to come up there with you when you go. I can take the cavern where the kids came out of and join the others, but I'd like to go up there with you for a bit, if that's okay.
I personally think you would be more advantageous going with Rook at this point.
I'll
you-
go with him. I'm not going to stay with you for very long, but I did want to just go up there one more time, just for a short moment, and then I'll take the cavern and I'll follow that where the kids came out. And
It would
hopefully it'll
probably
be
be faster to go through where the skeletons are.
I mean, if that looks faster once we get up there, we'll see. I'll be with them. I'll join them, but
Okay.
I did want to go back up there, and I didn't want to have to make you bring me back, so I can leave by myself.
Okay.
But I do want to go up there.
Anything in particular you wanted to do?
Just something I wanted to check out for me, and if nothing happens, nothing happens. If it does, well, then I guess you'll get to enjoy and watch, and I don't know. All of this moon business is new to me. It's very different from where I'm from, so it's... I don't know what's going to happen, but I did feel something up there, and I want to confirm it, whatever it is.
Okay. That's fine.
So I'll let you finish your meal, but when you get ready to leave, I'll go up there with you.
I'll let you know before we leave.
Okay.
The entrance to the cave now is quite dark. As you're seeing, the daylight is now gone from that warm color to that lavender color as the color of the granite and everything begin to show. The kids seem to be standing by. Griffaro now is standing near the mouth of the cave with the children, and he seems to be talking to them about not joining in. Rogar seems to be milling around, wanting to know what's going on. Bilcorm is likewise seeing. Is there a plan here? Am I going in disguise? But other than that, he's just sort of hanging out. It's Rogar that says, "Where's Runt?"
Run left?
She did it again.
For someone with bright blonde hair, she really tends to just fade into the blackness all the time.
She does, but that is her talent. You wouldn't happen to be able to talk to her again, would you? Or would that be too much for you?
I could. What do we need to say?
just find out where she is, or if we just assume she headed towards the hags. I mean, she knows what we were talking about earlier, so maybe she just went to find a good position, but the fact that she didn't go with Rook, I don't know if that's gonna cause anything, but Rook could still go with Bilk.
Oh, I'm starting to get a headache.
One of the children comes in. I can see the moon. It's showing itself.
Okay, let's get this message.
And you hear. Pardon me. You hear Griffro say, "He's right. It's up."
All right, let's get this message to Runt and then go.
Okay.
I've got to rewind a bit so I can talk to Rogar about over the 4 hours what happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we'll keep doing this. What we're doing.
Well, actually, go ahead. Just
Oh yeah, sure. I'm just going to try to convince him to. I'm going to go when Bilk is when Griffro is talking to the kids about not coming down with us. I'm going to walk by him, just be like, it's going to take all of us, including these little ones too. Just saying. And I'm going to look at the kids and be like, look, you got to do us a favor and do exactly what you've been doing the whole time, and that's get more of your friends out. I'm pretty sure you know what you're doing. Get a good head on your shoulders. As I turn to whoever the leader was that Shady was
Hoot.
playing. The Hoot, that's it. And then I'm going to ask Griffro where's Rogar at. I don't know if he went up to the lookout or he's back there.
Rogar's with Griffro. He's waiting outside.
Right, now, big man, I need your help if you don't mind. And it's weird, awkward, but I've been looking for someone like you for a very long time. It's kind of cool, actually, if you want to watch. It's pretty fun. So I'm going to open my bag that's by one of the beds, the actual larger sack, and I'm going to pull out what looks like a urn about this big. And inside the urn, it's like a solid brass-colored urn. And I'm going to say, do we have like a bowl or something I can pour this onto? I don't know. I'll go look where the altar is and see if there's like an indentation where they would put some stuff or anything.
Sure. Yeah, you can.
And I'll turn to Rogan and be like, all right, come over here, mate. And I'm going to take the urn and dump it onto the altar. And as I'm dumping it, I'm sort of saying like in Celestial, I'm like, oh, Mother, I hope you're watching right now. And I keep looking up at where the moon is. And then I finish dumping the urn, and what falls onto the urn is this like massive, like not massive, but like a large size of pure bronze powder.
Okay.
And I turn to Rogar and go, I've been looking for someone who can do what I hope you can do. So I don't know much about your kind, but you can like harness fire, right? Like you can, breathe.
Yes.
Right? I look over at B kind of happily and see she's eating. Go, and then go look at Rogar and be like, "Could you do something for me? Could you breathe on this? On like, could you before we go? And I'm doing this before all this other stuff has happened, so that he's got a chance to be able to use it if he needs to. But could you breathe on this for me? It's gonna help me stay safe. It's really cool, actually. I've been looking for a long time for someone that could help me do this. I'm not exactly the most well-protected person. And I kind of look down at the tattered, shitty leathers that I'm wearing that look like an old piecemeal leather for a pirate, and I've been waiting for someone to help me with this. So it would really come in handy, probably keep me alive for longer, especially when we're going in to kill some old women.
Rogar regards you for a moment.
And maybe in return for not killing your ass right in front of the Silver Maidens, quid pro quo.
He is not. You can see he's not entirely convinced. He asks you, "What do you hope to gain?
Protection.
To what end?"
Keep myself alive. Keep those around me live longer. Make sure my sister doesn't do something stupid, or if she does, at least jump in front of whatever's looking at her.
Just roll persuasion.
Okay, I'm not as good as that as deception and the other stuff. Let me double check where am I? Persuasion. Okay, not too bad. Would have liked to have guidance, but that's fine. Eat your vegetables.
Can we see all this happening from inside
No.
the cave? Because they're outside. Yeah,
No.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That is a 13, but I have a +6, so 19 total persuasion.
I will do it for you. Now, I'm speaking for Brad here. I'm conscious of.
Yeah.
I
Really?
received, and then you see him reach into his armor, and he pulls out a long scroll, and he opens it, and he stretches it out, and he hands you a pin, and you can see markings of Selune on it, and he goes, "Just sign here."
Nice.
What's on the... Can I read what's on the scroll?
hmm
And is it like...
It's a contract. And he says,
Yeah.
I was saving this for someone else, but I'll hold
What?
you to your word.
What does it say?
Basically, it's a soul bind, and it basically says you'll not cross him,
Oh,
And if-
okay.
and if you do, bad things will happen.
Rook is going to look at Rogar kind of up and down.
You can
Oh,
see
so
the
that-
markings of Chantia on it.
Yeah, okay. But you said there was Selune on it?
No, pardon me, Chantia. This is a
Chantia,
Chantian document. You can see some markings that indicate Harrowdale. You can see some other markings on it, and basically it's this
So-
gilded.
He's going to everybody say hi to my sister and bye to my sister.
Hey.
Sorry.
It's okay.
He's going to take the pen and put it down on the altar next to the powder and go, that's not how I make deals, mate. This is how I make deals. And he'll take one of his daggers that has the string on it, and he'll put a little line across from the wrist to the edge of his thumb, and kind of go like this, and then pull it into his hand. If you shake my hand, it's the same as a signature, but if I'm not going to betray you, then you're going to make sure that this one, and he points over at B and says, she stays alive.
He gently grasps your hand, but he grasps the outside of your hand. Do you let him?
Yeah.
He grabs your hand and with dragonborn strength slams it onto the picture, onto the paper.
You are dramatic. You know that.
The letters on this contract glow. A golden light surrounds you, his clawed hand, and your flesh hand, and you feel for a moment that you are tied on a level deeper than you've ever known, and you have no doubt that this contract now is binding. And he says, he rolls it up. Tell me what to do.
Right. So, here, guys, give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
I like it. I love it. Is that similar to what
Yep.
he did to that, or he
Peter
signed?
Mornhill?
Yeah, Peter
Yeah.
Mornhill.
Yeah.
So I've got a
That's what I thought.
dragonborn bodyguard now. Fantastic.
Kind of, yeah. Or at
Yeah,
least
but
you're-
if you cross him though,
so
yeah,
I
so-
gotta give Brad something, man. So
Yeah,
I
of
like
course,
it. I
of course.
like
And
it.
the thing is that Rook's used an old school. I don't know if it has any effect. He thinks it does. It probably doesn't. But now he's got when he puts the hand on the contract, and he pulls back and sees that magic go. He goes, "Whoa, that was interesting." And then he's gonna take the hand that had the that he had cut his hand on, this
Yep,
one,
yep.
and just kind of pass it behind Rogar's shoulder and be like, "That was a different way of doing it." And as he puts his hand on his shoulder, he'll just kind of wipe a little bit of his blood across the one part of where the
the clean armor is
yeah, yeah.
sure. Okay.
But now you've got me on you, so you watch over her. If I die, she stays alive. And now
Agreed.
do me a favor and breathe on this powder. And he's going to
It's
stand
not-
underneath it and then hold it like this so that when he breathes on it, if it turns into a liquid, it's going to run off the altar and into the container.
His nostrils flare. He draws breath. The stone around the altar glows as things burn off of it and flex. The brass holds its shape for a moment, and then all of a sudden collapses in on itself and cascades into your waiting urn.
And I'll use prestidigitation to try and just funnel as much of the liquid brass into the urn.
It almost as if it's magnetic. It just
okay.
goes into the urn.
Cheers. Thanks, mate. That's all I needed. And Rook's gonna take 2 steps away from the altar and kind of.
And the urn is glowing red hot with this molten water or this molten magma. It's not even an urn at this point; it's an ingot, right, or whatever.
He's got it by the handle, and he takes a step to the left where the altar is, and then he just starts stripping. Shirt comes off.
You're stripping the smoldering.
To the cheeks.
He's watching you. The kids are like wondering what's going on. Griffaro has come out. There seems to be this spectacle, and he's like, "What is this?"
He takes the urn after he's naked. Looks over at Geen. Eyes up here, love.
We're inside the cavern. We're not there.
Okay, you hear him say that. You hear him say,
"Eyes up here, love."
What?
Takes the urn and just pours it over his head.
What do we see?
So you basically see this liquid bronze go all the way over top of his skin, all the way down to his toes.
As if you're covered in molten wax.
Yeah, imagine if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, you know the liquid gold, on
the crown of gold. Yeah.
Yes. So he pours it on himself, and it kind of stays there for a second. He goes, "Hoo, hoo, ha, hot."
Yeah, you are being burned, and for a moment is as though your skin begins to peel away and blister and open up, and your hair seems to just sort of frizz, and your fingernails are curling back, and you can see just crevices opening up as if you're held steady for a moment as if you've just formed yourself, and it's pain like you have never felt. And then you cannot speak, and when you breathe, the molten metal goes into your face and in your mouth, and for a moment you think you have made the most terrible mistake. And then your eyes seem to lose their clotted cloudness as they've been poached like fish. And you can see again, and then you can hear again, and then you can breathe again. And what you see is just this receding glow. But what Rogar has seen, and the kids are just absolutely, call a therapist. They see the bronze just absorb into your skin, and it blends and lines itself around the silver tattoos and seems to course and kind of provide other designs as these vines that you have begin to sprout bronze flowers and thorns and leaves.
And he's gonna look down at his junk and go, "Oh, metal."
Now this is a problem.
That's gonna come in handy.
Suddenly no, I'm just kidding. No, it's do gold member.
I eat
now
smoking a pancake.
The next thing you see is the bronze is now gone.
Right.
Tell us the effects that this molten armor will.
So Rook has been looking for about 60 years for a brass dragon or dragonborn to finally arrive, which he will totally sign his will away to Chompy for. He doesn't care about that. It is a, let's just see, where is the equipment? Here it is. So it's a molten bronze studded armor. So this magical armor appears as a jug of powdered bronze. When you attune to it, the bronze adheres and contours to your skin. The armor can be worn under normal clothes, but it doesn't impede bodily functions. Once you put it on, it can't be removed unless you choose to do so. And then a bronze dragon or dragonborn must have breathed onto it, melting the powdered bronze to a liquid core. So I added 1d4 to any ability checks regarding dragon kind, but it's just like a regular. Other than that, it's a +1 armor.
Yeah.
So yay, my armor class increases. Yay.
And this is you can hardly see it. I mean, this is under your skin in a way.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of it's not really there.
You've heard oohs and ahs. Everyone is outside except for Bean and Bees.
Goes back on.
In the closing minutes here, what do we hear you speak or say? Ask, because Bean, you have a question for Bees.
I did, and I already asked her.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We already did it.
Did I miss it?
Thing.
It was me asking her if I could go with her up to the fountain.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That was it.
And she said,
yeah.
Okay, great. As you all assemble outside of the children's caves, Rogar saddles up to you, Bees, and says, I'm with you tonight. And he regards you, Rook, and gives you a sharp little nod. And
I'm gonna look over at Rook and be like,
Just go with it.
now, Bees, you were going to cast Sending? Is that right?
yes. Cast sending. And my 25 words will be Runt, where are you? Anything useful? Geen and Rogar aren't too happy you left. Let us know you are safe and what you have learned.
Okay.
You wrote that down before, right? Because I just speed did that.
All right.
Oh, good job.
Runt, this voice, you're trying to stay quiet. You're kicking at these maggots. This isn't too far after you've snuck in there, and now you hear this voice in your head.
I want to say, holy shit, there's like all these weird worms things with faces. And they said that when the moon is up, they beat the heart of the power. And I'm going to hide and
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to hide.
What you got out of that was
Yeah.
that where he is, that they're saying something, and that he's going
where
to hide.
she is.
She
and
is-
She is going
She
to
is,
hide.
and as you're saying this, the first of the children are brought up onto the stage,
Oh.
and that's where we'll stop.
Oh no.
Okay, so very quickly, we're going to do things a little bit different tonight. We are going to award beans for ourselves, and then we're going to actually no, we're going to do it the same way today. But what we're going to do next time is we're going to let people contact us in other ways, and we're going to see what chatter we get over our different channels for who they would vote for next week. This week we're going to do it the same old. So let's quickly go around the room, and we're going to do it in the same order
It's time
of
for the
our
magic
introductions.
beans. Oh, it's time for the magic beans.
There we go.
Time for the magic. Time for the magic. Let's see who gets the magic beans.
And all of our friends that have joined us, of course, you know the drill. You can go ahead and you can vote in our Twitch poll. Okay, who'd like to kick us off? Who was our first for the introduction?
Oh, that was me.
Awesome.
I will give my bean to Rook for taking charge and attempting to get us all out of here alive.
All right, so that was to Rook. Awesome. I'm going to do the math. All right, next. Rook, that's +1.
Oh, that's me?
Yep.
That's me next? Okay, yeah. I got to give mine to... I'm going to technically give mine to Hoot and Tweet. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm actually going to give mine to... I'm just kidding. I'm getting mine to Rogar because that was some crazy immersion with the fire and the... I know he's not here, but, you know, it's just... You know,
All right, you're gonna okay. We'll
He
give him
would have
one.
done it.
We'll give him one
He
for the.
would have
Yeah,
done
he would have done it.
Yeah.
it's he's not here, and I miss him, so
He would have done it.
he would have done it. I figure he needs something for the breath. Of
I
the
feel
day.
like he would have been really hesitant though about allowing the kids to be involved in the fight.
Yeah, that's why when I was walking past, I was thinking like, you know,
Yeah, I think that would have definitely torn him up.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
I want to give it to Tweet, but
Okay.
but I'm gonna give it to B because she tried just about everything to get this damn wheel to do something.
Cool.
I turned it into-
Cool.
I appreciate the effort.
All
What if I
right.
put it down?
Make it
Okay.
bigger, make it smaller, put it down. I don't know. What is it going to do?
And Luna, take us home.
I'm gonna give mine to Shady for Runt having the balls to go all the way back in there by herself.
All right. Okay.
Sorry, she's
So
not dead.
we're going to wait for the poll here to close, and I'll get word on who that is.
It's because Runt saw the massive maggot things and was like, "Ooh, buffet."
Yeah.
Literally.
Right. So Rook, you get the vote for this
Hey.
ritual. All right. So fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
Great piece of creativity there. Which means And sorry, I'm working feverishly here to do slap math. Okay, all the bees, you are at +6. You have 4 more to go till you've got inspiration. Geen, you are sitting on inspiration +1. Rogar is sitting now at 8. Runt, you have inspiration +4. And Rook, you are sitting at +7. So we will see where this goes. Next episode, will Geen and Runt use their inspiration? What will happen to these hags?
Probably.
You know what? Go ahead and join us next time on Banner and Chance. It was great playing with all of you, and I can't wait to see you again. So, everybody else, thanks for joining. Take care of yourself. Joining from Germany. Thanks for joining from
Yeah,
North
Korak,
America.
DM.
Korak, DM, great
Love you,
map.
Korak.
There we go. Good night, everybody.
There you go.